What is going on, everyone? Mega here with a brand new Discord Pi tutorial, and and this and this tutorial is basically gonna be like a follow up to a previous video I did. In this video, we're gonna what we did in the previous video. Well, I don't know if it was the previous video, but whatever video this was a follow up to. But what we did in that video was that I set up like a basic gacha like little rating, little like drop rate, and so basically what I have is that, in fact, let me actually zoom this in so you can see it. Not much of a tutorial if you can't see it. Let's. Okay, I'm gonna have to keep my eye on that. And actually, this looks a bit weird. Okay. Yeah, that's. I'll have to fix this later, but. Yeah. Okay. So basically, what I have is that we have how this code works is that we have a. We choose a random number between 0 and 100, and if the chosen number is 0, it chooses a random number between 0 and 309, because that's the size of our lists, and it chooses the correct, and it chooses uses that number to create the embed. If it's not 0, then it just says that. So we're going to change this up a bit. Basically, this is the kind of format we're going to be working with. This is a format that I created in my test bot. We're actually using my actual bot in this tutorial. And so I'm going to have to... This is really bothering me, actually. Hang on, let me just try and fix this. No, not that one. This goes right there. Goes right there. Okay, that's good enough. Okay, yeah, that's better. Still looks a little bit weird, but I'll fix it another time. Yeah, I'll have to like really fix this. I don't know what happened with that, but anyway. So basically, with in the format that I have is that and I went over that, but sorry, I just lost my train of thought there for a little bit. So the format that we're going to be working with is that we're going to set it up so that it chooses a random index between these ranges, but I'm actually going to change this to 309 to create, that way it's like a better percentage, and these numbers will all have to change too because of the new number. But basically the format that we're going to use is that if the number 0 is chosen, then we're going to use do the code to create the S tier embed, and this one is going to have a 1% chance of dropping, because you can own this code only runs if the chosen number is 0. Then if the chosen number is not 0, if the chosen number is 1 to 11, then it chooses the A tier lists. If it's 12 to 42, then it chooses the B tier lists. If it's 443 to 93, it chooses the C tier list, and if it's 94 and above, it chooses the D tier list. Now, these may not be perfectly the percentages that I'm saying they are. We're gonna have to do some math when doing this, but it's kind of hard to perfectly get percentages with this, perfectly get a correct percentages with these drop rates, because I tried to do it, and it is actually very difficult to do. There is a way to do it, but in in that form of Python, you're basically just you have to use what's called choices, and what that does is that it creates weighted. It uses random, but it's weighted, so it has a probability of choosing a certain one. But the problem with that, which sounds really good, which is what we want to achieve, but the problem with that is that what it calls is an actual list. It doesn't return an int, which is what we need. It actually returns the actual thing. So let's say I have a list saying S, A, B, C, D. It will reproduce that, but it will change around the actual, like, it will change around the indexes based on the probability of that showing up. So like if there's an 80% chance of D showing up, it will have the output will be mostly D. But it will do it as a list. It will output the list. It's not gonna. It's hard to actually get that to output that index. I tried to do it. I was sort of able to do it, but it was very complicated. So I feel this is a better way to do it. But so let's go into doing this. So first off, we actually don't need this. Okay, and let's remove some space. And I'm going to try to move this over a bit so I can see how the screen looks. Yeah. No. There we go. And bring that back up. Okay. All right. And so this is fine as it is. What we need to do is that we need to copy this and put this right here and change this to tier, because we don't want to use the same thing over and over again. And we're choosing a random integer between 0 and 3, random index between 0 and everything else. Okay, and so over here we're going to change this to elif, and now I'm actually going to delete this so it's easier to work with. Okay, and so here, do elif, and we're going to do, and actually for this part, we're going to actually need the calculator. So what we want to do is we want to find 3% of 309. So 309 times 3%. So it would be 1 to 9. Okay, and so elif chosen tier, and we're using this because this one is only if 0 is chosen. If chosen tier is 0. So if chosen tier is greater than 0 and chosen tier is less than 9. Well, it would be less than 10 actually. Is less than 10. Is less than 10. Then we would do the A tier code, but we don't have an A tier yet. So we're just going to do await ctx dot send and we're going to do A tier, just to show, just as a proof of concept that we have that we are that we landed in numbers 1 to 9. Then very similar thing. So back to the calculator. So that was 3%. Now we need 10%. 309 times 10%. 30. So that would mean that it would have to be 10 to 30. And well, technically rounded up, this is 31, so I'll use 31. Elif chosen tier is greater than or equal to 10, and chosen tier is less than 32. It's less than 32. And so now you have the basic idea of what we're going to be doing. ctx.send B tier okay, back to calculator. So now we need to do 50%. 309 times 50% equals 154. So it would be 32 to, that's rounded up to 155. So we need one less than 156. So it would be elif chosen tier is greater than or equal to 32, and chosen tier is less than, what was it, 156, because it rounded up. So it has to be 32 to 155 for 50%. Await ctx.send C tier. And the only other tier I have is D tier, which is going to be everything else. So all I need to do is else await ctx.send D tier. Okay. And I actually can't test this out because this is my bot, so I'm gonna have to actually put this, take down my bot and then completely add it onto, completely re-add it to G-Cloud. But we're basically done with what we have to do. So I'm actually going to do that really quick. But I have to be careful because I do not want my token to be visible. So what I'm actually gonna do is that I'm actually gonna well, basically do, I'll do the setup, but the actual part where I'm copying and pasting my code, I'll actually do that off screen. That way my token isn't visible. Okay. So to do that, we're gonna do const. I'm gonna bring it up on my second screen really quick. Yeah, there we go. Oh wait, I forgot. I don't know why, but console.gcloud does not like Firefox. So console.cloud.google.com. All right, compute engine. Oh wait, yeah, that's right. So we have to just wait for it to load. And I'm actually gonna move this back to normal because I do not need it to be like that anymore. Okay, that's good. So I'm gonna delete my bot. Now I don't have the actual notes that I need for preparing the bot up right now, so I've done this so many times that I think it's gonna I shouldn't need any notes, but it's very simple to set up. Okay, and we're gonna do create. The reason I'm doing I have problems with doing this in Firefox is that when I try an SSH into it, it just doesn't SSH. I don't know why it just does not like from Firefox. General purpose. We're gonna use E2. Second generation, yes. E2 to yeah, that should be good. Obviously change this from Debian to Ubuntu because Debian is shit. Oh, I forgot. We also want to change this to Ubuntu 18. We're going to allow HTTP and HTTPS traffic just in case. And I don't think you actually need this, but just in case. Okay, click create. And it's going to create the virtual machine. All right. And it's transferring the SSH machines to the virtual machine. And I'm going to bring this full screen so you can see it better. Let's zoom this in. Okay, and so now first off, Python/v, check the Python version. Python is not found, so sudo apt install Python. Yes. Okay. And before we continue, we need to do sudo apt update. Okay. Now Python/v should have a Python version now. Yeah. Python 3/v. Oh, and we already have Python. Perfect. Okay. pip slash v. Alright, sudo apt install python pip. There we go. Just noticed that you can't see it. So we're just waiting. Okay. Now pip 3 slash v. Okay. Sudo apt install python 3 dash pip. Discord slash b. Okay, sudo install Discord. Let's try sudo apt install Discord. Oh, I think it's pip install Discord. No. What was it? Yeah, it's always this part that I forget what it was. So let me just look up the code. I was close. It's pip 3. Wait, no. There we go. Install Discord. Okay, tmux. That's B. Yeah, app tmux is on ls. Okay. So make dir Romani cd Romani make dir cogs. Okay, and this is the part where I actually have to copy and paste my code in. I'm gonna do that off screen because I don't want my token to be visible on screen. So I'm gonna do that really quick. So I'll be back. Okay, and we're back, and so I created, so I copy and pasted the code that had my token in it. So now that that's done, we can continue. So copy and go back to the Chrome window, then do nano images.py. And I don't think this needs to be said, but capitalization matters. Just make sure it's exactly the same. Control V. It's asking me to reconnect. I always have this problem at least once. To fix it, I just completely close the shell window and just reconnect. I think what happens is it's just so much for it to copy that it just loses its connection. Okay, CD Romani. Yep. Nano images.py. Why is it keep crashing? Copy. It's worked before. What the fuck? Alright, I'm gonna have to figure this out. So I'll be back. Okay, we're back. So what the issue was is that it was just so much for it to copy and paste that it just could not handle it. So it was just crashing because it was just so much for it to copy and paste. And when I have code like this, it's a lot for it to copy and paste. So if you're copy and pasting something like that and you have getting that issue where it's crashing, just like copy it individually one piece at a time and it'll work. Okay, so now we need to do S tier. So copy. This one should be a lot easier for it to handle. Nano is pretty good at copying and pasting stuff, but sometimes you do need to do it that way. Yep, just like that. It's not gonna let me do it all at the same time. I don't know why it's doing that. But it's only 3 lists I have to do. Because this one is only S tier. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to... So basically I'm going to copy name and then blah 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 and everything else. As I always tell people, nothing is ever easy. Then let me just ls. Yep. Nano s tier.py. And so I'm gonna copy and paste each list one at a time. Copy. There we go. Now the series. Copy. And now you see why we did 309. Because these, for the S tier embeds, it's 309 for each list. Okay. All right. So now let's pull up the cogs. Okay, so the first one is events. So first off, we're going to do cd cogs. Do nano events.py. Then pull up the code. And go to events. I don't need to change anything. Just copy and paste. And this one should paste no problem because there's not a lot for it to copy over. Yeah. As I said, Nano is usually really good at copy and pasting stuff, but if you have a lot for it to copy over, then it's going to crash. So this one is nano fate.py. Okay, next one is general. Control A. Copy. Nano, capital G. General. .py. Control V. Control X. Y. Enter. Then the next one is moderation. Copy. Nano moderation .py. Control V. So now he can ban people. And last one is my not safe for one work one. Nano not safe for work.py. Copy. Control V. Control X. Y. Enter. So now we're gonna do cd ... So we go back to the main folder, and then we're gonna do tmux. No, Python 3 romani.py. Okay, and since I received that message, I know it worked. So close everything, and let's open up Discord. Oops, wrong server. Come on. Which server is he in? There he is. So r.waifu. D tier, perfect. Oh, you can't see it. So if I do D tier, and it's doing it over and over again because it has the highest probability of D tier showing up. See, B tier, and so that one was 10% chance. So that would have been a pretty good roll. So yeah, that's gonna be the basic setup. I apologize for this, how annoying G-Cloud was being, but yeah, that's gonna be the basic setup and how we're gonna be using it from now on. This has been Mega, and I will see you again next time.